Another morning at the flea market. Nothing but overpriced antiques, useless crap, and maybe, if we're lucky, we might just find some video games. Alright, so the first booth I came across for the day was a reseller that I see from time to time at this flea market. They always post their appearances on Craigslist, so I know when they're going to be there. And they've always got pretty reasonable prices. I usually end up getting something from them. And this time they let me shoot some video of the booth, which was great, and I appreciate that. I will put a link to their Facebook page down below in the description of the video. They're out of the St. Cloud, Minnesota area, so if you are around that area, definitely check them out. They have some good deals, and I've always gotten something from them at a fair price. Alright, so I did pick up a few games from them, and thanks again for letting me film. I appreciate it, and not looking at me like I was a complete psycho when I asked. Picked up a few NES games, traded in a couple duplicates I had too, just to knock down the price a little bit. First up is Legacy of the Wizard. Now, I didn't think I had ever played this game before, but that was actually one that I'd rented over a weekend as a kid, and had a blast with it. It's kind of a side-scrolling action RPG type game. Really cool. Next up here is one that I don't see too often, is Mighty Bomb Jack. Pretty early NES title. Happy to get that one. And the last one up here is one I've been looking for a very long time. I think I've been looking for it since I saw Bidhead 1000 review it a couple years ago. That is Clash at Demonhead. Kind of an interesting title. Quirky sense of humor. I need to put some more time into it, but I was really happy to get this one. It's always overpriced when I see it in other retro game stores. And I did find another booth and pick up a few more games, and I've got footage of this booth as well.
Hey, if we just change a few letters...
Now this is the reseller that's always set up at this flea market. He's got a permanent booth, and he's got a little bit of everything. Every once in a while you can find a deal, but it's nice that he's got a wide assortment of games and systems. And then inside his actual little building here, he's got a glass case with his better games, the rarer stuff. He had a couple of import Japanese Game Boy Color games, as well as some systems over here. So at that booth I ended up finding something I've been looking for a very long time, and that is a copy of Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition for the Gamecube. Now this was a promotional disc that I think you could only get by subscribing to Nintendo Power, and it comes with The Legend of Zelda, the original from the NES, Zelda 2 on the NES, and then the two N64 Zelda games, which are Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. And this is a pretty hard game to come by, and it was disc only, but that's not too big of a deal to me. I just wanted it more to have to play it. I love playing those games with the Gamecube controller, the 264 games anyway. And he was only asking $15 for this, so that's a steal for this game. And then I did get one more game at another smaller booth at the flea market, just a one-off I didn't get on film, and that was Super Off-Road, which is a blast on the NES. I used to play this all the time over at my buddy's place. Just great arcade racing action. Actually, I remember from being a kid and being in the arcade, what a great arcade cabinet that was. Had 3 steering wheels all mounted on there. Just ridiculously fun, wacky, over-the-top, loose arcade steering. Great game. If you can find it for a couple bucks and you've never tried it, definitely pick it up. Now, I did get a few garage sales in over the weekend as well. And the first one was that antique store that does the sales every so often, the garage sales, where they have everything labeled, you know, way too high. But it's a good deal because it's half price today, and it's still, most of the time, more than retail. But I found a few. I got Kid Niki Radical Ninja for the NES. And then Spelunker, which I have not been able to get this one to work yet. I've cleaned the contacts a few times, still no luck. I haven't given up, but so far that one's been a bust. And then with those, I got them to throw in a couple hard shell, the clamshells for NES games for free. And this one I grabbed out of the box. It had, I assume this must have been from a rental store. It's got the box from Wizards and Warriors 3 in there. It's all cut up and jammed in the case, which is kind of sad to get a box like that, but it's still cool to get it as a freebie. And then the last one I found, I was pretty happy to find. It's Hook for the NES. This was complete in box. Now, I didn't even know this came out for the NES. It must have been a fairly late release in the life cycle for the NES, because I think that movie came around the early 90s, 92, something like that. And I played a little bit of it, and the first thing I noticed is the really horrible loading screen. So the game has these stupid text screens when you're trying to read, and Tinkerbell's flying back and forth across the screen, making it annoying as hell. I hate to do it, but there's only one way to get rid of a fairy. Thanks, Peter. Much better. And then I have one last find that was from a pawn shop a couple days ago. Found a copy of Batman Forever for the SNES, which I was hoping was the good Batman game for Super Nintendo, but that one is not so hot. But it was only a couple dollars, so it's alright to add that to the collection. But anyway, that is all for this week, guys. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you next time.